Mini skirt on, dip my body in glitter. Platform sneakers, all the boys want a picture. Two foreign cars, I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with ya. Mini skirt on, dip my body.
Hi, friends. Welcome back to the A Little Bit A Lot podcast. I'm so excited today because I have my friend Mackenzie joining me. Hi, Mackenzie.
Hi. Oh my God. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on. Mackenzie reached out to collab, and I'm just like, why haven't we done this sooner? Like, we have been mutuals for 2 years now, essentially, supporting each other, like, always engaging with each other's comments, rooting for each other. And I don't know what I would do without your support. Like, you've just been incredible since day one.
You are literally the sweetest. I can't. I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry on this episode. No, yeah. I started my podcast in 2023 August, and I literally found you within the first week. Like, I remember. So I don't know why we haven't done this sooner, but I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. Watching Mackenzie and her growth has just been absolutely incredible. And for those who don't know, she is a psychic witch, a medium, a spiritual mentor, a tarot reader, a podcast host, and a paranormal investigator. So basically, she's a girly who gets it done and does it all. And we stan. I was like, oh my God, like seeing all of your credentials, it's just incredible. And you're how old?
I'm 21. I just turned 21 in July.
Yeah. So it's like the fact that you're only 21 and you're doing all of these things and making it happen and just being like, I have this interest. Let me go do it. This is calling me. It's just so admirable from my perspective.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. Seriously, that means so much to me. I will say, like, I do wear a lot of hats. I do a lot of different things. I also work a marketing job for my mom's company. I'm in school full time too. Like, I'm used to doing a million things, but I'm so grateful to be able to do all those things. It's a lot of privilege on my end. It's a lot of, I've been provided for a lot to be able to do that. So thank you, parents. Thank you, family. Thank you, upbringing. And thank you for the opportunity. Seriously. So
yes, that is truly like something that a lot of people, I think, take for granted. And you certainly don't seem to. Like, being able to be in that position where you can do that is incredible. So it's like, if you can lean into that, like, why not? If that, your schedule allows that, then it's like, do it, go for it. So for those who don't know, that Mackenzie is also the creator of the Divine Gossip podcast, and with her content, she dives into everything from mental health and self-discovery to manifestation, spirituality, even ghost hunting. So like I said, since we've been mutuals for a long time, I just was really excited to have her on. I feel like this conversation is going to be really great. And for those who, listen to my show, I've always expressed that I have an interest in, like, obviously mental health, and so does Mackenzie. I've been leaning into spirituality lately. I've always been very interested in tarot readings. I often watch YouTubers, especially when I'm actively like going through something like where I'm just feeling like my energy is off and I want just some type of like just general life clarity, or I'm feeling like, what can I see like coming next? What's next? Or do I feel like this is time to really like do this or do that? Just in general, kind of like feeling a little bit confused and, jaded. I will go and look up like Pisces, like tarot readings, and collectively like go to a couple different readings from different people. And it's always crazy that like my readings are always like generally the same for that month, with the different like tarot videos that I watch. And I truly think that like when I do that and I'm like in that era where I feel like, okay, let me like lean in to see like what is the universe trying to tell me, it always helps me with like that next transition in life. Like, I remember I was like really into it before I decided to like move out for the first time, and I was really conflicted about a lot of other things, and like watching those tarot videos kind of like, I really feel like guided me in a big way to be like, okay, like clearly the universe is saying that you should do this. So I don't know how much I've like talked about that on my show, but that's something that I'm really interested in. So there was just so many different parts of like that I was like definitely wanted to ask you about for sure. So I'm excited. And then like I said, just with like going into like the witchy and like woo woo world, like I live for all things that when it comes to TV shows. So I was like, let's just get Mackenzie's thoughts on that.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think I read my own cards all the time, obviously every day, but I was just watching a tarot pick a card video earlier today. Like I love that shit. I love all things tarot. And I love all supernatural shows too. That's one of the main like indicators that I knew I was getting into spirituality and all things like magical and mystical is ever since I was little, I've always leaned towards like the Vampire Diaries and the Wicks saga and like the fairy shows and all of the supernatural woo-woo magical shows. I love that shit.
Same. I don't know why I love it so much, but it's just so, I don't know, it's just so interesting to me. The endless possibilities and just like the fact that they all kind of like all at the end of the day come from like you looking at yourself within,
Yes.
you know, and like manifesting and like harnessing like your own energy. You know, like there's just so much we could talk about just off the top, but let's stick to the schedule. Oh my God. Okay. So I kind of wanted to like start off with like your story so people could get to know more about you. I wanted to know, when did you first realize that you had intuitive or psychic abilities?
Yeah, so like I said, ever since I could remember, whether I feel like I stopped remembering things at like 8 years old. So maybe since I was like 8 or 9, I always say I have always been super, super sensitive emotionally. I was like the only one in my family who would like cry the most and be really expressive and get really deep in my feelings and kind of be a little introverted. And I now call that, as I've gained more knowledge throughout my spiritual journey, that is called empathy and being an empath. So when you're a really deep feeler growing up, it can be really hard. So that was kind of the root of my psychic abilities, is I've always been able to feel others' feelings and see in them very deeply without them having to tell me much, because I was just a sponge. I will soak up anything. So ever since 8 or 9, I kind of been that way. I'm sure even when I was more little than that. And then I feel like when I was, well, even since 8 or 9, you know, I was watching the magical TV shows. I grew up with like a hippie mom who was always like, love the earth and ground yourself and love is love and all that. So I was already like very open-minded, but I always saw two ends of the spectrum. Not that we have to get into my whole childhood, but just for context, my dad's side was very like Republican, like conservative, traditional, like this is how it is. And then my mom wasn't. So I always got both. And I leaned naturally more towards my mom's way of thinking. So with that context, kind of growing up, going through middle school, high school, I turned 15, which I think was 2019. I think I was 16 in 2020, if hopefully my math is right there, either 15 or 16 when the COVID-19 pandemic happened. I went into quarantine like everyone else. And this is a very Gen Z way of explaining my story, but I downloaded TikTok and saw my first tarot reader on my For You page and was like, what is that? Why is she speaking in such an intellectual way, but like using magical cards at the same time? Like, that's so cool. Like, it almost like something clicked in me with, and I also saw witchcraft at the same time. That's when it was really, really popular on TikTok. So seeing tarot and witchcraft at the same time, it put something together for me where I was like, oh my God, I'm such an empathetic, naturally intuitive person where I a lot of times I know things I shouldn't know technically. And I'm also a really big communicator. I have a big open mind. I'm really into the woo stuff naturally. So, and then seeing that like you can help people mental health wise and yourself using something like woo woo magical, it just made so much sense to me. So I didn't really, I'm like looking back on that moment, it was like a light bulb of just like, I know that I'm intuitive and I have a gift of some sort when it comes to communicating. Like even growing up, I was told I should be a therapist or like a massage therapist, and where I can like talk people through their pain or like something like that. So literally since I was born, I knew I was a communicator, a therapist of sorts. So it kind of just put two worlds together of like the mystical and the intellectual. And I put it together. I ordered my first like witchcraft box supplies on Etsy in 2020, and the professional witch on Etsy who sent me the box actually put in a tarot deck, my very first tarot deck, for free with a note in it that said,
So
I feel
nice.
called to, I know, she was so freaking nice to me. And she had like a note with the tarot deck that was like, I feel called to give you this tarot deck. I don't know why, but here it is, which was weird because I was already like being curious about it. And I use that deck every day since. So I don't know. I like pulled my first card and I was like, oh yeah, I'm like really good at this immediately. Like obviously this is a skill of mine that I just unlocked naturally. So here we are. And then I started doing readings for other people, which again, I'm 100% self-taught. I never went to anyone to teach me tarot. So it truly just came naturally. It gave me a tool to develop my intuition and my communication skills at the same time and help people with it and myself. So it was a really big self-reflection tool that ultimately led me to find out that I'm psychic. When you pull cards for people and you start explaining their life to them and they're a complete stranger, that's being a pure psychic. So it just kind of fell into my lap like that. And then in 2022, I'm pretty sure, is when I did start working with a mentor and found out that I can talk to dead people too, which was a crazy find. And yeah, that's kind of how I found
this is
out.
snowballing in a crazy way. And you're just rolling with the punches at that point. Like, okay, add another thing to the list.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm loving this. Let's keep going. So I rolled with it. That's how it started.
I love that so much. It really seems like everything kind of just fell into alignment exactly when it was supposed to happen for you. I'm glad to see that it didn't seem like it was an overwhelming experience and that it just happened naturally for you, where you're just like, okay, everything that has led up to this moment really seems like this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I just love hearing that, you know, your empathy led you to that direction, because you really could have gave like, okay, I'm just going to be therapist. Mm-hmm. But then it kind of makes you think about that more, where it's like people that are in those positions of helping others could go either way. Like if you wanted to tap in and you feel like you're an empath, you could go into therapy and do it a traditional route, and that's perfectly okay. And those things are needed, but also what you do as well, I feel like is needed and valuable just the same. So I think that's also a good message that, you know, our audience can hear as well, that like you could have really went either path, but the universe was just like, no, she needs this tarot deck, and we're gonna go with it.
I totally agree. And I think that my awakening, which technically that's what the spiritual community calls it when you start dabbling in all this, is, oh, that's the beginning of your awakening. So I'm just going to refer to it as that. My awakening was so smooth. I have a belief that my awakening was so smooth because I'm meant to help people immediately. Like the universe needed me to help people or something, like, and that's why I had a great childhood. I mean, I had some dark moments like everyone, but like I had a great childhood. Like I have a great life, and I'm so grateful that I'm in a position where I had a smooth awakening and I can help people with that. And that's why I know it's my purpose. And that's where I always start with clients too, is like, they always come to me and they're so sensitive and they're so empathetic. And I'm like, let's hone it in. Let's go deeper with it. And that's where it all starts from my perspective. So, yeah.
That's so awesome to hear. So basically, like leading up to that, was there anything specific that was drawing you to explore that spirituality and witchcraft like more deeply? Because I feel like it could have been more of like a surface level situation. But was there anything, one specific thing where you're like, no, like I want to go like full throttle with this? Because you could have just like went upon it and been like, I don't know, this isn't for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I think that there was definitely more to it when I felt called to it. I think that being such a sensitive little kid, who was insecure growing up and like had such a crazy internal world. Like there was so much going on in my head, even though like the outside was pretty much fine seemingly. Like I just always had so much going on internally. I think I was always grasping for something that would give me a sense of empowerment and a sense of control almost, but in a healthy way that doesn't put like so much pressure on me to be perfect, which I'm already putting pressure on myself like that as a kid. Or I don't know. It also was like there was something exciting about breaking out of the norm. Like think of me in like my conservative Republican dad's house who like has Fox News playing all the time, and like he thinks gay people are like the devil, like just so harmful and disgusting. Like think of me in my room upstairs like I'm a fucking psychic witch who's like gonna help me. Like that was so exciting for me. I'm like, fuck you, dad, I'm gonna prove you so wrong and I'm gonna make money while I do it and help a million people. Like it was just so empowering for me to be able to just go the complete opposite way of what I was supposed to do, and it felt so natural. So I was like, I don't know if that makes sense. It was empowering and exciting, and
it does, especially since you had like your cards stacked against you. I feel like with having that half of your family, because I think that that's something that we can all relate to, or especially me. Like it's always that one side of the family that's like, girl, now you got me questioning, should I, follow this path? But I'm glad that you didn't let that get to you, because that can feel way more restricting than people think. Like when you're dealing with like Republican, anti-gay, like those harmful like thought processes, like that could have made you just turn more inward. But instead, like having, that influence from your mom, I'm sure helped you be like, no, like this is me, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I'm glad that you didn't let that like stifle you.
No, yeah. And that's the thing, is I've always been very outspoken and communicative, but it always felt scary to do that. So I think finding a tool that helped me do that also helped other people, was really cool. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So I kind of wanted to talk about like also with the mental health and like diving more into spiritual healing. I know like with your content, you talk a lot about like emotional healing and trauma. So how do you think that spirituality and mental health like work together?
Yeah, I think they work together in an astronomically important way. I think that spirituality, like based on my beliefs, and that's side note, that's the beautiful thing about spirituality, is that you can form your own personal beliefs and they should be respected. So with my beliefs, I feel like there is like an energy to everything, but like we're also human. So I, in my personal beliefs, you can take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I believe that we are a soul coming down into a human body. So we have an energy, and then we have our human selves, and they merge together as one, and we kind of got to figure it out. And I think that when we talk about spirituality, for me in my brain, that's like the energetics behind everything, our mental, emotional, our energetic state, like that. And then our human mental health is like the shit we get from being human. So mental health issues and traumatic experiences and how biologically our brains work and chemical imbalances. Like there's just a practicality to life that we shouldn't ignore. And I think that mental health, spirituality can help mental health, and spiritual knowledge can help your mental health, and mental health knowledge can help your spiritual health, if that makes sense. They both go hand in hand. And with me, mental health wise, since I was, I think in my early teenage years, I've been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. So I've always had like pretty severe anxiety, and OCD tendencies. So I went into spirituality having those quote unquote issues, struggles, challenges, and I still struggle with them today, but I use my spirituality personally to heal those naturally. And that's just the path that I've taken. Like I've never been one to like get on meds, but I also like so respect people getting on meds. And I've never been one to stick to a therapist, but I respect talk therapy fully. Oh my God, it's helped me millions of times. And traditional mental health solutions have helped me a million times. So I think there's, a balance with everything. And when it comes to my mental health struggles, like anxiety, traumas I've experienced in my childhood, PTSD from traumatic experience I've had from throughout my life, spirituality has helped me in that, just by reminding me that I am in control of my life. It's all within me. The power is within me. And I think that's why spirituality drew to me so strongly, was because, and again, this is just my personal opinion, when it comes to religious beliefs, it almost seemed like a lot of that was thrown on me as a child was pointing me in a direction that was outside of myself, like putting my power outside of myself, to like a big white man in the sky who thinks you're going to go to hell for whatever, or, something else, patriarchy, whatever it may be. And spirituality gave me that self-empowerment of like, I have the tools, I have the resources to support myself. And as a woman, like, it's so important to find your voice within yourself and find that empowerment within yourself and be connected to your intuition and the way you move throughout life. Like, spirituality has just helped me get in the flow of my own energy and get familiar with it, which is so important, in my opinion, to healing your mental health. Yeah. Does that all make sense?
It does. And I think a lot of what you're saying also aligns with a lot of the things that my therapist says, which is why I feel like what you do, should never be counted out, because it aligns with so much of, like I said, with like the path that I've taken with my own mental health journey. That's why I feel like what you're saying with, okay, spirituality, me leaning into that and realizing that I have the power within, like that type of ideology, if that's the right way to say it, is something that my therapist has literally also told me. So that's how I know that is really, in my opinion, I agree with your opinion that those things do work together. I don't really think that if you're really wanting to have a proper healing journey, that you can't count out leaning on your spirituality, your belief in yourself and your power to get through what you need to get through without it positively like affecting your mental health as well. Like, those things like can be in alignment, and it takes time, like you said. So I really agree, and a lot of everything that you said like totally makes sense.
Good. Yeah. You mean you can't discount the energy, and you can't discount the human nature. I think both
and
are.
I like that that's something that you also like value, because I think sometimes like people think that just because like you do tarot and you have psychic abilities and you're a witch, that you're like, no, I don't believe in like the modern medicine. I don't believe in traditional therapy. I don't believe in the traditional ways that doctors and psychiatrists like treat mental health. Like, you're like, no, like all of those things are beneficial, and if that's what you choose to do, that's important, and you can do all of those things while working on your spirituality, and they can all come together to help.
Absolutely. And that's the thing you have to look out for in the spiritual community too, is people leaning really hard one way or really hard the other way. Like, you'll hear me say it a million times throughout my content and on this podcast, probably, that balance is everything.
Yeah. And I know it's easier said than done to find that balance, but if that's what life is, essentially. Now that I'm like learning, like, you are going to be working on finding your balance, folks, essentially forever. And I think that it's a journey, and depending on how you look at it, that can be an exciting thing or it can hold you back. But I think that now that I've like leaned into it and finding like, okay, finding the balance is something that I look forward to with my healing journey, like, that's definitely helped a lot. I also wanted to know, like, do you think that there are any common misconceptions about healing, especially when it comes to like spirituality?
Yeah, I think you kind of touched on it a little bit actually just then. I think that the most common misconception I get, which I used to believe at the beginning of my self-improvement spirituality journey, and the biggest challenge I see my clients come to me with initially, is that we tend to think that healing is like we're going to be 100% healed one day. And I cannot stress enough that healing is not a linear process, which I'm sure everyone listening has heard a million times, but it gets to a point where life is always going to be lifing. And when we've done the work from our childhood, great, but I think our childhood self and our teenager self and our adult self, like all of our different parts, are always going to be with us until we pass one day. So we're always going to have the wounds. It's just going to get easier to live with and easier to manage. And I will say, like, I have, like, for example, I'm still working on like my self-worth and my, I guess, like, yeah, like self-trust and just my relationship to myself. Right. But there's like, I no longer have imposter syndrome. Like, I can fully say that I have healed that, which is really cool. But like me years ago really was struggling with that. So it's not like I'm saying that we're going to have these wounds forever. I don't mean it to sound like that, but there's an ebb and flow to healing. It shows up, it goes away. And maybe one day it'll go away fully, but sometimes it shows up again, and that's okay. It's not like you heal this onto the next thing, you heal this, and one day you're going to be completely fully healed. Life is always going to be lifing. You may run into challenges. You will run into challenges. You will run into mistakes and challenging people, and they're always going to have you face yourself once again. So, yeah.
Healing isn't linear, is basically what you're saying. Like, you're gonna go through the gags, guys. You will.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, since we're speaking about, healing, do you have like a routine or practice that helps you feel grounded, when life is feeling heavy?
Yeah, I have, I love a routine. I love a calendar. I love a list, but
She's an organized girly.
oh, I'm so organized, but I'm so organized. It's actually a problem. Like, I'm so organized that I have trouble, like, weirdly enough, I have trouble like blocking out time throughout my day to connect with myself and my spirituality, because it's my work, but also like I have other jobs and things to do. So even for me, it's a struggle to have that like daily practice. I'm way better at it nowadays. Yeah, I think even if I don't quote unquote have the time, which I feel like you always have a time, you just have to make the time. Even if I don't have the time to do like a full 1 hour meditation and like ritual and like all this stuff, I always make sure that I get outside at least once a day, even if it's for 5 effing minutes. Getting sun on your face or grass on your feet is so beneficial. I know that sounds woo-woo, but it's biologically proven that if you stay inside all day, you're going to feel like shit. It just is what it is. So for me, especially being so like in my head all the time, like anxiety wise, but also like for my job, like channeling information and being so up in the clouds, it's so important for me to ground back down in my body and feel my body again and feel very solid and connected to earth. So going outside at least once a day is how I do that. And also, I know people probably don't want to hear this, but meditation is very huge. Even if it's taking 3 deep breaths and just feeling your belly expand in and out gets me into my body again. I do, like, now I've kind of moved into a more longer routine now that I kind of am in my flow of life more, although that's always changing. That's another conversation. But I nowadays, like for a week or so, have now taking the time to sit down for like 30 minutes or so every morning, kind of longer, and really like speak to my inner child and like heal those wounds and like go throughout my day from not a wounded place, if that makes sense. Like not from my trauma, not from my anxiety, but from my like true relaxed self. So I try to do that at least once a day, where I'm like speaking to my inner child or like feeling my self-worth and like hyping myself up, whether it's affirmations in the mirror. So I do a lot of identity work every day is what I'm trying to get at. And I think that everyone can get value from that for sure.
We stand identity work, and that's something that I've been really working on myself. Like my therapist has said, like get a picture of little you and put it on your mirror. So like when you're, brushing your teeth in the morning, like talk to her. And so that's just, crazy that you bring that up, because that is something that I align with a lot. Like doing identity work and working on connecting with my younger self has been a really enlightening experience for me in a way that I never thought was possible. Even when it comes to situations where I find myself being like overwhelmed or stressed, I didn't know how much I was going to benefit from being like, hey girl, I know you're in there and you're scared, but you're safe now. I'm here to protect you. And like being able to validate like that child wound has literally just been tremendous for me. Like it's something that I believe in so deeply. So that's incredible to hear that that's something that like you also believe in as well. And I think for anybody listening, like you should definitely consider doing that, because that can help you a ton, because you don't realize how much of your adulthood, just so much revolves around those things that you went through as a kid. Because sometimes I think about it and I'm like, I feel like we're all still just kids that just are figuring it out. So if you're not working with her, then it's easy to feel so lost and confused.
Oh my God. Yeah. You're not working with your full self. And I literally just started inner child work like this year because I avoided it for a long time, because that means for me going back to like traumatic moments and healing those and rewiring the beliefs that I gained as a child, right? It's a lot of work and it's scary and uncomfortable, but absolutely, like if you like, even if you feel like you said in a moment where you feel overwhelmed, or you feel like that anxious ball in your stomach, or you feel like you can't speak or something like that, like if you can, like go to the bathroom or like close your eyes for a second and just ask yourself, like, what part of me is scared right now? Like what's going on in here? Because it's not making sense. It's not clocking to us what's going on. So who is it? And 99% of the time
it's not clocking to you that your inner child is scared.
Yeah, it's not clocking to you that she needs some help. And
she needs a hand. She needs a helping hand right now, guys.
She needs like a lot of support. So yeah, like take a breather and talk to her. Like seriously. So, and men need that too. Holy shit.
Heavy on that.
Yeah.
Men, don't be scared. I know that there's a small percentage of male identifying people that listen to my show. I'm talking to you right freaking now. Lock in with your younger child, and I swear like it will help you. Because there has been times where it's like I realize, like even sometimes like my inner shame, or moments where I feel shameful, you look back and you think, oh well, in this situation I'm feeling like that because my younger self felt shame. Or like you said, moments where you feel like your throat is closing up. Okay, I'm feeling like I can't really speak. I can't stand up for myself. I'm feeling small. I'm feeling insignificant. Those are moments where I'm like, oh, right. Because I felt like I couldn't use my voice when I was younger. Locking into that, that's important. Yeah. I love that you value that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I love that you value that too. Take time every day to make your inner child feel safe again, and things will change, I promise.
Yes. So now that we've talked about like, more of the spiritual healing and how, that can kind of connect with your mental health, I really want to just like hone in on like the witchy and woo woo a little bit more. So let's get into your witchy side. Like I said at the beginning, Mackenzie is a tarot reader, psychic medium, paranormal investigator. So I was like, okay, my girl has done it all. I want to know what is one of the coolest or most, surprising experiences that you've had while doing any of these activities?
Oh, I love this question. It's my favorite question. Yes, I have experienced a lot, and I'm going to tell like a couple short stories that really
Yay.
stood out to me. Okay, cool. So, well, when it comes to like the psychic side of things, there's two things I can say. So actually, I'm gonna tell the story of the very first time that I saw a dead person. It was the craziest moment of my life, and it's gonna sound a little bit schizophrenic, but I can back it up with evidence. Okay, I promise I'm not schizophrenic. Okay, so in 2022, I used to have a mentor who lives near me locally. She's a very talented psychic medium. I got on my first Zoom call with her, and she immediately looked at me. She's taught like hundreds of students at this point, and she immediately looked at me and was like, "Did you know you're a medium?" And I was like, "Me? Like, no." And like, who are you talking to? No, I'm not a medium. I just read tarot. What do you mean? And she was like, "Yeah, you're a medium. You can speak to dead people. Like, I just heard that loud and clear from your guides. Like, you can speak to dead people." I was like, "Okay." Like, I'm like open to it. That sounds really sick. Like, but like, I've never done that before. And she's like, "I can guarantee you've been doing it like your whole life." But basically, she tested me right then and there, which was terrifying, but was insane. She was like, "Okay, I'm going to give you the name of a woman, and you're going to invite her into your space and see if you can connect with her, and she's dead." And I was like, "Okay, why not? Like, always try everything once." That's my motto.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah, okay, let's do it." So her name was Amber, I'm pretty sure. And I invite this woman in. So I'm like, I start off all my sessions like mediumship, tarot. If I'm connecting to a dead person, I say, and this Amber woman was her grandmother. So I said, "Can my friends, my mentor's grandmother Amber please step forward?" And I shit you not, it was literally a movie scene. Normally now in sessions, because I'm pretty sure I like shut this part of my gifts down because I got so like overwhelmed. Normally I just see people in my mind's eye. Like when you close your eyes and you see images, that's normally where I see the dead person, and I can describe their name and their what they're wearing and like their personality and all of that. But this time, the very first time I invited in a dead person into my energy to read and talk to, she literally showed up physically in my room. I saw like a 9-foot old woman who was wearing the exact outfit. I literally like, I get
9
chills.
feet? She was tall?
Yeah.
Tall?
For some reason, she showed up like a fucking like
A giant
from heaven. Like, I don't even know.
OMG.
Yeah. So it was insane. My whole body was like shaking. I'm covered in chills. I have cold sweats, but I like literally feel like I'm talking to a person in my room. And I'm like, okay, there's a woman in my room. Like, she looks like this. She's saying this. She's saying like, you're her favorite like granddaughter. She like used to bake these kinds of cookies. She's saying these words. Her husband's name is this. She died this year. Like, I was saying like crazy specific facts. And she was like, yep, you're right. So like, do you believe you're a medium now? I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, literally. Like, imagine seeing a dead person in your room. Yeah, I'm like, well, like, yeah, like, I think I am. Yeah,
But you weren't prepared for that, for sure.
No.
I can see what that would be like spooky, and you'd be like, yeah, let's shut that down.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, well, I think, yeah, exactly. I shut it down. I did the whole session, and then I said goodbye, and she left my room, but I was like, this is insane. Like, I felt her touch me. It was the weirdest, it literally felt like I was on acid. Like, it was the weirdest experience of my life. So that was the very first like psychic experience I had that was super intense and crazy. So there's that one. And then Another one was I was investigating on the paranormal investigation side of things. I was investigating the Ferry Plantation House in Virginia Beach, which used to be a courthouse, like the ferry, like the ship that used to go down the canal by this house. I'm pretty sure look up the story of the Witch of Pungo. It's a very cool story about a witch who got tried in Virginia, and her story is incredible. But anyway, she took that ferry to like go to this courthouse to get tried. So like it's very, very, very old house. Like tens of families have lived in it. Lots of people have died in it, children, all that. So I'm investigating this house. It's pure daylight. This is the most haunted place I've ever been to. I can't wait to go back. Like I'm with a group of people. There's a tour guide. There's 2 tour guides, my old mentor at the time, and like 2 of her friends. So I'm like with a small group of people, and we're walking up the stairs, and we're all like, it's just us. Like it's all women too. So there's no men with us. And we hear this man from the bottom of the stairs. As we're all walking up, we hear this man like walk up to the bottom of the stairs and like yell, "What are you doing in here?" And we're all like, there's someone in the fucking house. Like we all start freaking out. We all immediately run downstairs because we see no one, and no one's in the house. What? No one's in the house. Like imagine like just hearing a voice like that out of nowhere. Like it was the craziest experience of my life. I actually have clear as day. Like, what are you doing in here? And we were like, who is that? Who is here? Like, no one's here. And we got it on video and everything. It was insane. So,
oh my God, were you able to like communicate with him any further, or he was just like, whatever?
No, the weirdest part is like, I have a lot of equipment when I go ghost hunting. Like when I make my YouTube videos and go to haunted locations, I have like a spirit box and EMF readers and dowsing rods and my own psychic abilities. And we took all that there, and nothing was going off the entire day as we were investigating. Like we got no evidence. That was the only thing that happened. So it was very clear that like the spirits there, the old family that passed there, probably didn't want us to be there for some reason that day, because he was like, "What are you doing here?"
He wasn't in the mood. He wasn't in the mood.
He wasn't in the mood. So.
Oh my God. I'm always very, very interested in ghost hunting. I've been interested in that since I was young, because my dad will always watch videos from ghost hunters on TV. I just recently watched the Try Guys Try Ghost Hunting video a couple of weeks ago. That one was like so interesting. Have you seen?
Yes, actually, weirdly enough, my boyfriend loves the Try Guys, and he made me watch that funny ass video. I was dying laughing. They're hilarious.
No, literally. And I love like now that we have like so many different Try Guys. We've got like Quasi in the mix, and he's like, right, do black people do this? I'm like, Quasi.
So fucking funny. Seriously.
Literally.
Shit.
But it's like sometimes I'm just like always like so interested to see like what's gonna happen for people that are like not too sure about it. So like just seeing like Zach go in there and being like, so what? You're punk ghost. It's like, why are you going in here like trying to provoke these people? Let's come in peace. And like them offering snacks is like insane. But like the fact that they had like so many different like things like activity go off with their devices that they were like putting in the hallways and stuff. I'm like, okay, period. Like something's going on in here.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, I just love seeing stuff like that. I think the one device that I'm like a little bit paranoid about is the radio reader one. Have you had the one that like shifts through all the channels and then you can hear them talking?
Yeah, so that's a spirit box. That's definitely the most sketch one, because it's like, okay, we're just hearing like radio station voices, but that's where like the spirituality comes in my opinion, because I think with ghost hunting too, there's a lot of faith and belief involved that you are talking with someone, you know, but I think that like I've had spirit box like sessions where like a clear ass loud ass voice comes through. Like why would that be on a radio station? So like sometimes I do feel like it works, but other times it's just like yeah.
That's what I was
I
going to
get that.
ask with your experience with those. Because every time I see the spirit box come out, I'm like, all right, what are we in for? Because I that's the one tool that they use where I'm like, man, that's my least favorite tool. Because it seems like every video that I watch or show, they don't really have that much luck with that one. But that's cool that like you've gotten
Yeah.
something from it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I feel like also equipment can be debunked as just like technology glitches or like bullshit. So it's always better to have like pure evidence, like an audio recording or like something moving on camera or something like that, which I have gotten before. So it's cool. It's fun.
Oh,
I love it.
nice. I love when it's like a successful moment and you are able to get that pure evidence because even watching the Try Guys video again, like reminded me that like you sometimes have to dedicate like hours of this to even
Oh
get
my god.
anything.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
always have respect for people that are like full time ghost hunters because I'm like, oh my God, like the way my ADHD is set up, I would get so bored going like 3 hours of no activity.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's luckily. Well, that's yeah. Luckily, there my sessions have always been jam packed full of stuff, which is fun. But
Oh, that's exciting.
yeah,
I love that.
yeah, yeah. So those are some creepy stories. I don't know if they're creepy, but they're just cool. I've had a lot of experiences like that where I'm like mind blown, and it builds my belief even more. So.
Yeah, that is so cool. Also, I've been meaning to watch on your channel because have you filmed some of your ghost hunting like adventures?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
have, I think I have two. No, I have three like documentary style videos out of me investigating paranormal locations. I'm next month filming two more, and then I have one like two monthly that I'm filming. So I'm back in the filming game. Yay. So more coming.
Period. Guys, be sure to check that out because I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to dive into that because I was behind. So I definitely need to finish watching those. Okay, so more with like the witchy and woo woo world. I also wanted to just ask again, like circle back to tarot. For people that are interested in it, what do you think is the best way to start exploring it?
Oh, I love this question. I think the best way to start exploring tarot is to have fun and not get in your head, which I know is easier said than done. But I think more often than not, tarot tends to overwhelm people very easily because it's like the suits and all the cards, and there's 78 cards, and each of them have different meanings. And like it can seem like a lot of information, but I'm completely self-taught, like I said earlier in this episode. So what I did, and that obviously worked, was obviously I got gifted a deck, but every tarot deck I got after that, I just literally bought it because it was pretty. And that was it. Like literally I didn't listen to like other people's advice. Not that that's wrong, but I didn't listen of like this is the deck you should start with, and like this is the right way to do it. It's supposed to be fun and playful and magical, and like you're exploring and you're going on a mystical adventure to yourself. So just think of it in that mindset, not so much like overthinking in your head like, oh, I need to get it perfect and like do it the right way, because truly there isn't a right way as long as you respect the meanings and respect the art of it, because it's an ancient art that helps a lot of people, right? So that's all you got to do. And yeah, so I guess my first piece of advice is first buy a deck that you feel drawn to because it vibes with you, because you like it. You don't have to first buy like the very basic Rider-Waite tarot deck or like the one that this tarot reader said you should buy. Like if that's not calling to you, then so be it. Like buy whatever deck you want, and then honestly do it. Go, like just pull cards. Just start pulling cards. Just ask, what do I need to know right now, and pull cards and lean on the guidebook. I think for a lot of us starting tarot, it can feel like you're being hesitant or like held back by feeling like you need to read tarot because they feel like they need to know all the meanings immediately. I started reading tarot more and more accurately over time. Like it took me time to like learn all the meanings. And as you start to learn, if you're not picking it up fast or you're not picking it up after a few years, maybe it's just not for you. Maybe oracle cards are for you. Maybe, Reiki is for you. Maybe something else is for you. Tarot is definitely not for everyone. But when you start reading cards, I definitely would be easy on yourself, lean on the guidebook that comes with the decks, read intuitively, look at the imagery, have fun with it, stay out of your head. I know that was kind of a lot, but that's what I did, and it was the best route, I feel. So
No, that's perfect. I think you're just overall saying like keep it cute, keep it fun, keep it light. I think that sometimes, you see different people that do tarot and it can be intimidating because it seems like some people are so serious with it. And it's like, girly, I don't know. I like the ones that are, more whimsical, more genuinely like more fun. Because like you said, this is something that is an ancient art, but should be, lighthearted, and you should be having a good time with it. It seems.
absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
And I guess
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with people that do take it, really seriously, depending on like what you need it for. But I do love the like fun little readings and stuff.
Yeah, like don't take it so seriously to the point where it's holding you back from trying.
Yeah, and I think that that's also great advice of like with anything that you try for the first time, but
Yeah.
especially something like this, with realizing that you don't have to know everything. Offer it, because I sometimes can, well, every time tend to get like that with like anything I try. Or I'm like, I gotta be perfect. I should know everything immediately. And then when it doesn't
Oh yeah.
happen that way, I'm like, I thought I was a genius.
Yep. For example, I tried surfing this Monday for the first time in 11
Oh,
years, and
fun.
I wasn't ripping waves like the fucking expert surfers after me, so I
You're
cried
like, I
about
thought
it.
I was gonna be shredding, guys. What happened?
Yeah, like I couldn't even get up on the board. Like I thought it was just like super easy and like I was a natural. Like what's going on? Yeah, so keep it cute, keep it slow, chill out.
Right. Oh my gosh. That's so funny to me. Like, guys, I thought I was gonna be whipping and running in these
Yeah, like
waves.
I thought I
And
was yeah. I thought I was
oh
Bethany Hamilton. Like
no,
nope,
literally.
nope.
Okay, so when it comes to my last question about like the witchy and woo-woo world, I just want to know, how do you approach people who might be skeptical but curious about spirituality or the witchy lifestyle?
I love this question too. I think skepticism is so important, and I welcome it to the fullest. I even like before we even started recording, you were like, I have a lot of questions, and I was like, I love questions. Like I always, even with my workshops and events and client sessions, I'm always like, interrupt me at any time and challenge me. Like ask all the questions. Ask, what does that mean? What, like, how does that work? What if this happens? What if that happens? This doesn't make any sense. Like, I think skepticism is so important when it comes to like getting into spirituality and you're like, I don't know if this shit is real. I don't know if it's for me. I would say, like, kind of what we talked about with trying anything new, try it, see if it's for you, but also go into it with the mindset of like, skepticism is healthy. I think that, how do I say this? I think that if you go into something thinking like, oh, I have to completely believe in it and, fucking, oh my God, what am I trying to say? Hold on. I had a sentence. I forgot it. Let me think.
It's like, I think you're saying like you don't have to be all the way in it to respect like the idea of it.
Yeah, I think that skepticism is healthy. That is what I was trying to say. Skepticism is healthy. I didn't go into spirituality being like, oh, this is going to fix all my problems and this is okay. Here's what I was going to say. I remembered it. Period. Find evidence. So as we were saying earlier, spirituality and mental health, there's a balance between like being an energetic soul human, spirituality vibes, and then there's a balance, and there's the other side where you're a human and your brain works in a biological way where you need the evidence to kind of prove something. Right. I think that is so needed in spirituality, where I'm not going to go into tarot and like fully believe in it without evidence, and maybe that's crazy, but I think that's what keeps you grounded in spirituality. So don't go into spirituality being like, oh, I'm woo woo, I don't need any evidence, like, and completely lose your human nature of like needing that grounded practical evidence of things to work. I think
basically
that,
don't be too delulu.
literally, like,
Find your own beliefs that help ground you
yes.
with it.
Yes. Yeah. Like the only reason I do what I do now is because I've seen evidence to keep me going. Like
Yeah.
I started witchcraft and like I started doing spells for myself and manifested money, a boyfriend, practical living physical things in my life from doing these spiritual things. So therefore I have the belief now that I can keep going with this. So my skepticism is low nowadays with a lot of my practices, but I still have a healthy amount of skepticism, say when it comes to ghost hunting and equipment, or when it comes to, like, I just got certified in Reiki. I had a healthy amount of skepticism going into that, but after I felt the energy and went to the classes and learned the knowledge, that skepticism went away and I was able to trust fully in the practice. So I think having that mindset going into anything spiritual is absolutely welcomed. And I think you should never lose skepticism. Maybe that's controversial, but that's what I gotta
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. It's kind of like a you got to see for yourself type of thing. And if you're willing to do that, and then you get your evidence, then you can go from there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like thinking about it like that. And I also want to know, like, I just know that traditionally that witchcraft, spells, like even just like spirituality sometimes is just like this thing that traditionally, especially in like American culture, is just demonized. Like people think that this is evil, this is bad, bad, bad. And then of course, like historically, anytime a woman is like, I don't know, outspoken or opinionated, they're like, witch. Like we know that to this day, like especially women are like condemned for even having a brain. And
Yeah.
then it's like that type of like thought process does not help like the stigma or like stereotypes that are put on people that actually do practice in witchcraft. So it's like, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that of like people saying that like spells and witchcraft and like that type of thing is like this bad, like demonic thing?
Yeah. I mean, excuse me, like I've said in like my childhood stuff, as we know, my dad, like, is very traditional, conservative, whatever. So he, as a white man, thrives on the patriarchy, right? So I grew up with that side of things. And actually, I have tons of experience in what I do being demonized. Because when I started tarot at 15, my dad actually kicked me out for reading tarot in his house. Yeah, yeah, super loving and supportive. Love him. I now live with my mom full time ever since then. And so I had to really work through, like, I actually luckily never had the like religious trauma of like, is what I'm doing bad? Am I attracting demons to me? Because that's what I was being told by my dad. It took us a while to work through that. Now he's like supportive, that now that I'm making money, he's supportive. But
Oh, right. They
yeah.
want to come around when the coin comes, of
Yeah,
course.
of course, of course, of course, of course. Or when he wants to set up technology because, like, anyway, I could rant about that for hours.
Yeah.
But
We could get into it.
we could really get into dad stuff, yeah. But so, yeah, I think that you kind of touched on it. I've come to the conclusion that women for centuries have always been natural healers, have naturally connected to the earth, and cultures for centuries across the world have been doing spiritual practices long before I was even a fucking thought. So this shit has been a living, breathing thing, spirituality, for centuries and centuries and centuries. And for so long, you're right, women have been demonized for being natural healers and connecting to the earth. And because they didn't listen to the man, all of a sudden now they're a witch and now they're being burned at the stake. So it all comes back to the patriarchy. It all comes back to misogyny and racism, to be fair. Yeah, I work really hard to, like, I literally have it pinned on my page. Like, this is the type of psychic witch medium mentor that I am. And it's a video of me saying, like, hey, I don't do anything with bad intentions. So if you think that what I do is evil, like, definitely let's not think that. Like, I do think with witchcraft, there is witches who do believe in like sacrificing living things and like hexing other people. Like, so be
Because I've
it.
seen that, and there's this like guy on YouTube, what's his name, Trey Melvin, where he was saying that he was like under a spiritual attack, where his friend was trying to get like guidance from I don't know, I don't want to like misspeak if this person was a witch, but it was some type of like spiritual mentorship, I think, that she was going under. And they were like, he's like, I'm convinced that this lady put like bad energy onto my friend and she ended up passing away from a car accident. And then you see stuff like that and you're like, okay, so there are people that are doing this with bad intentions. Do you believe
Yes.
that?
Yes, I believe that. I believe that. I mean, think about it. I think there's good and evil in the world because obviously
Yeah.
we see that every day. We see evil happening in the world all the time. We see good happening in the world all the time. Well, hopefully
Period. That's just the facts. There's good and there's evil in humanity, period.
everything. Yeah, in everything. So I don't like completely negate that, but it's certainly not because like it certainly has it's not like someone's not evil because they're a woman doing it. They're evil or doing an evil thing because they're a bad person. So
Right.
I don't yeah, so I definitely don't feed into the idea that like the patriarchy, obviously I don't feed into that. But yeah, I make it really clear that like I do everything with good intention. I personally don't want to kill a living thing or like go into that intense, darker side of witchcraft
Like,
because
girl, we're not
I
doing
just
blood
don't like
sacrifices over here.
yeah, like I don't really like blood and like needles, so I'm
Right.
just not gonna do that. Like their practice is their practice. Like I also believe in like you create your own destiny, girlfriend. If you want to do that, that's fine. That's none of my business.
But that's not your lane. You're
No, no,
about peace, positivity, using your abilities for healing and helping others.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
I think that's important for people to remember because I just hate that things like witchcraft, which in spells, essentially you're using these as tools to help manifest good, positive energy and things into your
Mm-hmm.
life. It's
Yeah,
not used as some like evil weird thing. So I just hate that there's so much like stigma against it because it's like, okay, if people can come up with like 7,000 different religions and gods, then why can't a girlie use her inner energy to cast a spell to have good things happen in my life? You know what I
and
mean? So
oh,
I feel like it just
absolutely, I
gives
know what you mean.
like it's just unfair judgment essentially. I think.
Hypocrisy,
Yeah,
yeah,
hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is
yeah,
really the word that I'm trying to look for.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
let witches be witches, because if
Well,
people are coming up with all of these different religions, then why can't a witch?
yeah, why can't a witch, bitch, for real?
No,
Like,
really.
and that's the beautiful thing about it too, though, is like you can create your own beliefs. Like I'm not gonna play God in other people's life, right?
Yeah,
I'm a human, right? I'm
like I'm just
powerful
here
in
to
my
help
own ways.
you.
Yeah, I'm here to help people, and that's that. I'm not gonna like hex another person because I believe they did something wrong. Like I also have my own beliefs of like karma's gonna do what she do. So
Yes, and that's something I definitely believe in. Like karma is real, y'all. Like you
mhm.
do good, good comes back to you. One more question I did have, like when we were talking about like the witchy shows and like you also loving like fairy like things. Like I said, I personally love the Wink Saga, especially the new one that they did on Netflix. I'm like, guys, why the freak did that get canceled?
Literally the way I
Did you like that
cried when
show?
oh, did I like that show? I
That
rewatched it four
was
times.
so good.
So good, and I tried to recommend
I
it to my friends, and they're like, "It's so cringe." I'm like, "Fuck you! It's not. Like, whatever. Even if it is, it's cool."
the concepts of all of their powers and how they made it into IRL versus like when it used to be the cartoon
Yeah.
was so fascinating to me. I forget the one
Oh my
girl
god.
with the girl that had like the water abilities. I felt like her power was so
Yeah.
fascinating to me.
Yeah, I forget her name. I literally feel like I related to all of them in such personal
Yes.
ways. Like, oh my God, I
Because at the
love
end of
that
the day, they're
show.
just girlies, but like seeing them be able to like come into their own confidence, power as women, learning all of that in school was just like, oh, like I lived for that show. And like
Me
Motherland,
too.
Fort Salem, that was on Hulu. They took it off, and I'm like, bruh, I wasn't finished watching it. Like, what is the issue?
Wait, I never saw that.
I last time I looked on Hulu, it wasn't there. But that was a couple of months ago. I need
Damn.
to look again. And if there's an option for me to at least buy the season, then like I'm willing to do that. Cause what?
Damn, I wish I watched it when it was on Hulu.
I
Damn.
know. I also love the fact that like some of the witches were like lesbians too. Because I'm like, you know what? Like, F it. I'm sick of y'all acting like this is an issue. And like the fact that that show also like embraces sexuality, like the witches get their power energized from having sex. I'm like, wait, that's
Oh my God, that's so me.
like the guys from the boys' school show up and they have a day where they're like, F it, everybody get it on. And it's encouraged by the staff and faculty
Oh my God,
because we
that's
need to
so
harness our
sick.
power so we can be able to fight for the greater good. So
No,
let's get it on.
let's get it on. Hell yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
yes. So I love that you are like pro those shows. So do you have a show or a movie that connects with you in that same way, or they all kind of give you that good feeling?
My favorite movie of all time is Avatar. And I know it's a movie, not a show. But I think that movie perfectly encapsulates the connection to Earth that we should all have and the spiritual ideologies that I live by. So, highly recommend Avatar. That is my favorite movie of all time. I probably could recite every single line. I love that
Have you
fucking
seen the
shit.
trailer for the new one?
No, don't tell me anything. I'm surprising myself.
Oh, of course not. Oh my god, I can't wait. Just because, like, what is it? The Way of Water, the second one.
Yeah.
Oh, that one was so good. I've been playing Fortnite.
Insane.
I just unlocked my avatar skins, and I'm like, yeah,
Oh my
I'm
God,
connected.
yes! Now you're fucking playing the game. Exactly. Oh my
No,
God.
literally. Oh my
I love
god.
that.
I want to hear more about that. So as you were saying with Avatar, you just feel like that's like the way that they respect nature
Yep.
and
Yep.
work with
For
it.
sure. Yeah. That and the way they connect to their ancestors and the spirit of the earth, which is Awa in the movie, I think is so cool. I think the visuals is so like you can escape from your reality and kind of go into a whole new world, and I feel like that's what I do in meditation sometimes. So it just is such a spiritual movie for me. And then The Way of Water, the second one, I feel like brought in literally the water and how that is a direct connection to spirit, the universe, God, or whatever you believe in. So I think that those movies are just absolutely beautiful. I love that movie. But I love everything supernatural too. Like literally the show Supernatural. I love Vampire Diaries, the originals. I also love. It can be a little like intense and a little spooky, but the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix.
I wanted to give that a try, but I was like, bro, yeah, you're right. I'm like, is this a little too intense for me? Like, am I gonna get stressed?
It's
That is not my Sabrina.
She gets a little cray in the later seasons, but I think it's a really cool it's a really good at times representation of witchcraft, but it does get a little spooky in what they dabble into.
Because I didn't know
So
if it was like if they leaned into horror. That was my issue. Like I want to see all the witchy stuff, but then if it leans into horror and there's like jump scares, and now I'm like scared because I'm still a chicken when it comes to scary movies and scary shows.
oh no, I get that. I don't watch any scary movies. No, it's not horror. It's just
Okay.
it gets like a little sacrificey kind of thing.
Oh, she's on that type of time.
Well, I don't think but there's like villains that get into that, but she's always good. So
right, yeah. I just recently was watching. I was talking about the show The Sandman. Have you seen that?
shut up! I just started the first episode the other day.
Dude, it's so good. And
Yeah?
they were just I was just watching the last. Not to. Well, this isn't going to spoil anything, but basically, like this girl had to like sleep so she could channel something to like fight something, I guess, to not like give it away.
Mhm.
But he had to like, this lady had to put a protection spell on her so like nobody could harm her while she was like doing what she was doing and like in the sleep state. And watching stuff like that, I'm like, right, put that protection spell on her, draw on it, and it's like
Yes.
that I can get with it.
That makes sense. Like, it just makes sense.
Right,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
take
I
that
need to watch it
lipstick,
then.
draw it on the floor so nobody can touch my girl while she's doing what she's doing.
While she's vulnerable. Like, yeah.
Exactly. No, like, ugh, I just live for those type of things. Okay, so when it comes to like pop culture and just also like talking about your boundaries, I kind of wanted to like tie those together because that's something that also like I'm interested to learn more about you outside of spirituality. I know you love pop culture too. So do you have a TV show, like a reality TV show or anything else that you can't stop watching right now?
Oh, I love this question. I love reality TV. I fuck up some Housewives, Summer House, Winter House. What else? Vanderpump Rules was my shit. Oh my god, I love
Oh, I
reality
need to get
TV.
into that. I need to get into the Vanderpump of it all.
You haven't watched Vanderpump Rules?
No,
You need
but
to watch that.
yeah.
It's
But isn't that the
so
show that
good.
Ari from Love Island, the host, is from?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
That
Did you watch
last
the
season.
recent season of Love Island?
I actually hate Love Island.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Isn't that weird? Yeah, I
But
don't like it.
that's so valid. It's really that's a valid take on that show. It is.
Okay, thank
Because
you. I appreciate you
unfortunately,
saying that.
if I wasn't in it, I feel like I wish I could be on that side, but my willpower isn't strong enough. So I put myself through a torture ritual for a month watching the show, even though I'm absolutely miserable and it drains my energy every day.
Wait, what are you talking about? Why do you watch it? What do you mean? What do you
Literally,
mean?
because after this past season 7, and every week on my podcast, I'm like mentally, like my energy is depleted once I finish talking about the show. And I'm like, why am I putting myself through this? Like these
Yeah,
people I can't stand. And
yeah.
it truly takes so much of my energy. And then on
Mhm.
top of that, you have to commit so much time to it because it comes on every day except for Wednesdays. And then you have
Yeah, what
After
is
Sun on
that?
Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
watching it pretty much every day after work. And I'm like,
Mhm.
well, what am I doing this for? But at the same time, I can't stop.
Yeah, I get that. It is what it is. I think that any like dating love show just gives me anxiety. I would get way too
Yeah.
into it and like it would drain me for sure. I get it, but it's interesting. I get it. Reality TV is so fun. I'm my boyfriend and I have actually just started Below Deck from the very beginning. Have you ever watched that show?
No, I haven't. I need to look into that. What is,
It's
do you know
pretty
what that's
cool
on?
because yeah, it's on Peacock. I think that's it. That's where all like the Bravo TV shows are on because Andy Cohen like hosts the reunions every time and stuff. So I think it's Bravo. But
Okay.
my boyfriend's a fisherman and like has a boat, and then like
Oh,
I got
cute.
him into reality TV, and then I love reality TV, and a lot of people from other shows I've watched are on Below Deck. So it kind of like is a show that really works well for us. So we've been loving Below Deck. It's really funny and it's cool. You learn a lot about like chartering yachts and like the crazy guests and like the deck crew and the stewardesses and the captain. Like there's a lot going on in the show. So it's really cool. I've been loving that.
That sounds so interesting because I'm very fascinated with the world of like boat people. Whenever I
Yeah.
read like romance novels, I recently read one where the guy was like a fisherman, and I'm like, everything about the fisherman lifestyle, I'm so intrigued.
Yeah. It's a world. Oh my
It
God.
is, and I think that that's like the thing that intrigues me. It's like I love learning about like a world that's so specific that not a lot of people know about, and like even TikToks where like people will be fishermen and they'll show like how dark it is outside at night when they're on those boats. Bruh, there is nothing more scary to me than the deep, dark ocean at night. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I have
My
a
actual
fascination with the
health.
Titanic. Because I'm
Yep.
like, bro, if it was that dark outside and the ship crashed and you can't even see your own hand in front of your face, like what?
Yeah, that's my personal hell, literally.
No, literally
Literally.
hell on earth.
Yeah. So that's what my boyfriend does. Yay. Yes.
No,
Yeah.
kudos to him, because I feel like you got to be a certain type of person. You have to have a certain type of grit and will
Yep.
about you to go into
Yeah.
that profession. And as someone who, loves seafood, like shout out to all the fishermen, like keep
Yeah.
getting
No,
that
really.
that shrimp and those lobsters for us.
Yeah. And the tuna, like, thank
No,
you.
no,
Yeah.
like literally, thank you.
That's such a good point. Dang. I should be more grateful for that. Yeah.
Yeah, like whenever I
Yeah.
start thinking about it like that, I'm just like, dude, y'all are doing something I can never do. That's for
No,
sure.
same. Yeah. Keep me out of that.
I'm
No,
not
thank
built for that boat life, bro.
No, me neither. I'm throwing up. I'm terrified, shaking the
Do you
whole
get
time.
seasick?
I do, but I take Dramamine, so
See,
it's like
I've
the
never been on
nausea.
the boat yet, so I don't know if I'm a seasick girly.
Yeah, I mean, it's just more scary than nausea. Like I'm more scared than nauseous, but I'm both.
Right. So the
So
anxiety
it's not
kicks
the
in and you're
greatest.
like double time, like panicking.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yep,
that's lovely.
yeah, yeah. It's really great. So so boats are awesome, but like below deck is really fun to watch because it makes it look not miserable for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I wrote that down. I looked it up. I definitely want to look into that because everything about that seems fascinating.
Okay,
Okay, we
good.
got two more questions here relating to boundaries. Because over the years, I have seen you share some moments where you were on your stories popping off, and I'm like, yes, queen, she better set those boundaries with these people that are trying her. That's one thing that I knew about you. I'm like, Mackenzie is a real one because at the end of the day, she's going to protect your energy. You're going to protect your space. And if anybody has a problem with that, Republican or not, like, you can get out of here. And I'm like,
Oh my
period.
god, that's my motto. Republican or not, you can get out of here.
Literally. So, like, when you've had, like, went off on tangents like that, I'm like, yeah,
Thank
she
you
better
so much.
gather the folks. Yes. So when you've had to set boundaries with like friends and family who have crossed the line and have issues with what you do, how has spirituality helped you stand in your truth when moments like that happen?
Oh, I love that question. Yeah, my close friend story, they get a lot of crazy shit.
We
So I
do. And I was like honored that you added me. I'm like, yeah, let's clock
Oh my
in.
god, yeah. Oh, yeah. For one of the first people I added, oh my god, no brainer. Yeah, I love a good rant. But yeah, I'm tested with boundaries pretty much almost every day. Um,
Yeah.
like growing up with like getting kicked out of my dad's house, that side of my family being ultra religious and them coming at my livelihood and my purpose, like you have to have strong boundaries with that. I feel like all of us have to have some kind of boundaries with our parents as we get older for sure. But also just like as I got into spirituality more and more, as I got closer to myself and started to get to know myself better and loved spending time with myself in a healthy way, I had to set boundaries on the people I hang out with and how much time I hang out with people or how much time I drink or smoke or how like habits I set boundaries with. And like I said, people I set boundaries with, environments, I have to say no a lot. I say no probably more than I say yes in order to protect my own energy. I think
Sorry to
spirituality
interrupt,
has.
but
What's up?
my boyfriend hates that about me. But I just wanted to interrupt to say, like, that is totally me. I am going to say no more than I'm going to say yes. Because when
Dude,
you realize the older you get that you're protecting your energy, that's priceless.
oh yeah, and once you start getting used to saying no, it actually feels really good to say no because you're like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god, I'm like way less miserable when I say no instead of yes to something I don't want to do or don't want to be a part of." Like I became happier when I started setting more boundaries, and spirituality helped me get to know what those boundaries even are. Like if I didn't have my practice of like connecting with my own energy and tuning out the voices, shutting my phone off, getting outside, connecting to my natural state, like I wouldn't know what I like and love and need and don't need, you know? So spirituality helped me get really clear on what that looks like for me. Like for example, I had, and I especially because I have like an all or nothing mindset naturally. So like when I pick up like when I turned 21, I started drinking. Not that I didn't drink before then, I just didn't really like alcohol, so I never really got drunk until my 21st birthday, actually, which is crazy.
Same.
But like, yeah, okay, cool, love that. So I like started drinking, but I knew I had to have a balance and like say no to going out and like say yes when I actually had the energy, and like had to really hold myself to those boundaries of like self-love and what I really need. So like with drinking and smoking weed, like I had to do that a lot. And then with my boyfriend, this is my first secure, healthy relationship I've ever been in. Clap for that, period. Period. Yes. I say no to him a lot. Like when he wants to hang out and I don't have the energy, normally I would put my entire life aside to hang out with a man because I want his approval and his like of me, you know. Like now I say no. Like tonight I said no to hanging out with him after this podcast because I know I need time to myself. So it took me a long time to get here, but I'm here. And I will say I wouldn't be able to, like with my dad and my stepmom, like one time I made a post on my Instagram that screenshotted, like my stepmom she's very religious, like goes to Bible study like every morning, and like literally is like the definition of like Bible thumper, right? So she went through this whole phase of months of sending me this like Bible study course and these Bible study meetings and being like, hey, you should really join this. Like, girl, read the room. I don't believe in the Bible. Like, with all due respect, it's just not for me.
And you're wasting your time harassing me every day
like,
with this?
Yeah. No, literally, like actual harassment. Crazy.
That is harassment. And I don't think that a lot of like, not to like no shade, no tea to Bible thumper Christians, but you forcing it onto someone, unfortunately, is not going to have the outcome that you think it's going to have, sister. I'm just saying.
Yeah, shocker. Hitting me over the head with the Bible every day is probably going to make me hate it worse, you idiot.
Right.
So
why do you think that approach is going to want to make me to convert? I don't. Okay, sorry.
No, actually, it's so frustrating. And like, especially when it's a family member. So I remember like screenshotting this text I sent back to her, setting the boundary of like, if you text me again, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm going to have to distance myself. I can't keep doing this. It's not okay with me. You pushing your religion onto me, demonizing mine at the same time. Not that I have a religion, but demonizing my practice and beliefs at the same time is just like never gonna work, and it's just disrespectful. So like, I'm gonna need you to cut it out. And she listened. So I share vulnerable moments like that to be like, a spiritual practice is why I'm able to do that. And I wouldn't be able to set, this is what I was going to say earlier, is I wouldn't be able to set boundaries like that without my mom's support and my friend's support and my boyfriend's support and my own spiritual support, most importantly. So I am very privileged and grateful for the position I'm in, that I can say no a lot. But yeah, it's a practice. It takes a lot of time to get there, but it's very worth it.
Yeah, I think you're saying that you have to put the work in to get to the place that you're at now. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's possible for anyone if they put their mind to it. And it's just crazy, like how much, I align with so much of what you're saying, because that's something that I recently had to go through as well. And it really is a transformative experience that I feel like not enough people are talking about when it comes to realizing, hey, I do need to start setting boundaries with people. It's so uncomfortable. It is not a good feeling sometimes, having to be like, hey, I'm feeling harassed by this, that, and the other that you're doing. And just even having like boundaries where even if the person isn't harassing you, but like you said, with your boyfriend, I struggled with that too. Me being in a long-term relationship, like it's so easy to get clingy and not prioritize your own self-care, your own space. But especially now more than ever that we live together, prioritizing having those boundaries, like you said, even after recording, it's natural to be like, okay, I've been busy, let me go entertain him. But ultimately, like, I need to decompress too. And that can be uncomfortable. But if you have a partner who is patient, understanding, theoretically, they shouldn't have an issue with that.
Exactly. It is about the partner too. Yep.
Yeah, it is. And whether it comes with, your partner, your friends, your family, the people in your life should be okay with you being able to prioritize that self-care and those moments of having, your own space to decompress from life. When it comes to, your advice, do you have any advice for people that struggle like I did before with setting boundaries, or like feel guilty doing that?
Yeah, I think that it's going to take a long time to, well, maybe not. It took a long time for it's, let's just say it like this. It's okay if it takes a long time to get to a place where setting boundaries doesn't make you like have an anxiety attack or like make you have a 3 day like hangover after the emotional intensity of it.
Yeah.
I've been there and
I
I
definitely been
feel,
there too. People,
oh
more
yeah,
people need to talk about that. Like, I will be taken
absolutely.
out for 48 hours with riddled with guilt, being like, should I have done that?
Yep. Yep. It takes up your whole mind space, especially when you are naturally an anxious, sensitive person. You don't want to hurt people's feelings. You tend to be a people pleaser. Like we all have dealt with this to some extent. I think that my advice for you would be to, it's easier said than done, but be as easy on yourself as possible. But also my spiritual practice, once again, bringing that into play. Like I have the strength and the confidence that I do now because I've built that faith and identity in myself of like, I love myself enough to know what I love, to know what I hate, to know what I need, to know what I don't need, and to feel confident in like creating a life that aligns with that. And sometimes that is setting boundaries and being like, I can't do this relationship anymore, or this is where I need things to shift, or setting boundaries with yourself of like discipline or being easier on yourself. Like it can go internal and external, right? So I think going back to kind of that daily practice we were talking about, if you connect with yourself at least for 5 minutes once a day, you'll start to build that identity and of self-love and self-trust, and it'll get easier from there. And that's the most authentic way to build it, in my opinion, is from within. That identity and that life is from within. And it takes time. It takes time.
Yeah, I do like what you said about, because sometimes it's easy for me to forget that too. But having boundaries and being able to have the courage to set them with others is not all it is. Like you said, you have to be able to set boundaries with yourself too. And I never think about that enough. Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, with weed, drinking, those type of things are fun to indulge in, but even I've had to literally do the same thing where I'm like, hey, when I'm doing this, working, probably shouldn't be off an edible. Keep it cute and
Mm-hmm.
save that time for when I'm in the evening, and my life has been better.
Yeah, literally. Like your brain just like can function better when you have balance. And like, yeah, I had to set boundaries with myself with substances and also like taking enough alone time when I
Yeah.
started having panic attacks because I wasn't going within and I wasn't recharging and I was avoiding myself, you know? So also your body will start to tell you when it's not happy and when things need to shift for sure. I believe that.
Yeah. And that's something that my therapist has been saying for a while now, because she's like, I really want you to take time off from work because you literally never do. And then when you do take time off from work, she said it seems like you only take it off when you have to go do something, whether it's like helping, your sister with whatever she needs, hanging out with, your mom, even if it's just for fun, you're going on a trip, but you never take the time off to like literally just be with you and just do things that you enjoy and like do nothing. And I'm like, okay, right, like clock my tea. That's
Yeah,
valid.
thanks, Queen. Damn. Yeah, I guess that's
Like,
right. Yeah.
yeah, like having that time with yourself is so important. And I do need
Yeah.
to get better with, setting those boundaries with myself to say, girl, these are the times that you need to lock in and only spend time with you. And I was proud of
Mhm.
myself because this past Labor Day weekend, I did just that. And we had Monday off, but then I also requested that Friday off. And I spent the whole day to myself, and I was just playing my games on my Switch. I was coloring, took a nap, and my boyfriend was like at work, and I had the house to myself. And I'm like, this is bliss.
Yes. Yes. I love to fucking see that. That is the life. Like devoting time to yourself is one of the ultimate forms of self love. I love that. Good for you.
Yeah, I was like happy to report back to my girlie, and I'm like, look what I did, and it was awesome. And I think I need to take more of my PTO to do that.
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, I had so much fun chatting with you today. Like seriously, I've had an incredible time. This has just been such a enriching and exciting conversation. Getting to know more about you, everything that you stand for is just so incredible, and I think that you're such a ray of light. Truly.
Thank you so much. That is the sweetest thing ever. Thank you for having me. Your questions were incredible. I hope that I answered them in a way that makes sense. I feel like we, like you said earlier, could talk about so many different things and go to so many different assets, but I loved the stuff we talked about. And I really appreciate you. You're very grounding and attentive and insightful, smart, and beautiful.
Thank you so much. I just love, this friendship that we've had with supporting each other. Like knowing that I have people like you in my corner that are always going to be rooting for me is so important. So I'm just so thankful that the universe has like put you in my life to be able to be there as like a cheerleader, because I'm like, I know at the end of the day, my girl Mackenzie is going to have my back and be rooting for everything that I do, and like vice versa. So it's just been
Exactly.
incredible, like getting to know you. Yes.
Oh my
So let
God,
the
me
girlies,
too.
gays and days know where they can find you, girl.
Yay. Okay. So you can always go to my website, themackenziecollective.com. The Mackenzie Collective is my business. I also on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube is at the Mackenzie Collective. I'm active on those things pretty much every single day. I also do marketing work under 217 Marketing. So if you need help with your business, your website, your logo, branding, I can do that. I do all that as well. So yeah, that's all my things.
Period. Be sure to follow Mackenzie. Anything you need, pretty much, she's got. Like, oh my God, I didn't know about the marketing aspect. That's literally incredible. I could have used you like a long time ago. Like, what?
I just wanted to shout out my YouTube. I upload video versions of my podcast, Divine Gossip, on my YouTube and Paranormal Investigate on there. Oh, and this is what I was really going to say is if you are wanting to learn tarot, I am creating a in-depth 10-module tarot course right now. So keep on the lookout for that. I have a spiritual awakening 101 course. I do readings and stuff like that. So I do a lot of things. So go check out my world. That's what I wanted to say. So
Period. Oh, I love that so much. Like you offer so many different things for so many different needs. So I will be sure to link everything in the description on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. And with that, I really appreciate your guys' time for listening to our conversation, hearing us yap about any and everything. It's been so much fun. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like, comment down below to let me know what you thought about the episode. If you have any other questions for Mackenzie, all that good stuff, subscribe. I'm so close to my first 800 subscribers on this channel, so I'm very excited about that. Thank you
oh
guys so
my
much who have
God.
already subscribed, and if you haven't, join the community. We talk about mental health, pop culture, TV shows, music, more witchy and woo-woo stuff. Now we've added that to the to the board, and I'm loving it.
Finally.
Yes,
Finally.
and Spotify and Apple, rate that 5 stars, leave a review, and with that, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Cause I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with ya. Mini skirt on, take my body in glitter. Platform sneakers are the